If you are well, it is well, and I am also well. Welcome to the Stoic Cat. Stoicism is a school of philosophy that originated in ancient Greece and Rome in the early parts of the 3rd century BC. It is a philosophy of life that maximizes positivity, reduces negative emotions, and helps individuals to develop their virtues of character. Simply put, Stoicism was designed to help people live their best possible lives. At any moment, in any situation, and at any stage of life, Stoicism provides a framework for living well. It reminds people of what is truly important, providing practical guidelines to get the best value out of life. Stoicism was deliberately created to be understandable, actionable, and useful. Practicing Stoicism doesn't require learning an entirely new philosophical lexicon or meditating for hours a day. Instead, it offers an immediate, useful, and practical way to find tranquility and improve one's strength of character. Stoicism is having a renaissance with entrepreneurs, athletes, and even cats. If you have an interest in learning more about Stoicism, or if you want to explore answers to some of life's most significant questions, please continue watching the episode. Also, let us know what you think in the comment section below, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Alright, let's start by learning a bit more about Stoicism. Stoicism is a school of philosophy originating in ancient Greece and Rome around the early parts of the 3rd century BC. It is important to keep in mind how differently people thought then. People's primary concern was to avoid living an unfortunate life. Therefore, they were more likely to order their thoughts, decisions, and behaviors to promote increased life satisfaction. One of the most important things to keep in mind is individuals didn't automatically assume that they would achieve happiness by attaining money, prestige, and/or beautiful things. With great urgency, people wanted to understand how they could have an excellent soul. Stoicism was one of the famous schools of thought during this period because the Stoics provided compelling answers to anxiety, stress, fear, and troubling questions like, "What do I want out of life?" The Stoics offered life hacks to deal with the trials of the human condition. Their ultimate answer to all of these issues went as follows: "I want enduring happiness and tranquility of mind, which come from being a virtuous person." For instance, a person could improve virtues of character by placing more value on actions over words. In short, positive behavior led toward a more positive life experience, and, you guessed it, negative behavior resulted in a more challenging one. To summarize, Stoicism was an ancient school of philosophy that taught a particular way of living. Its principal focus was how to live a virtuous life, to maximize happiness and reduce negative emotions. Its principles may have started long ago, but Stoic strategies are universal and timeless and are as relevant today as they were in ancient times. A handful of thinkers helped to form the Stoic philosophy. Let's look at some of the most famous Stoics, as well as what they contributed to the Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most influential human beings in human history. He was head of the Roman Empire for 2 decades at a time when it was one of the largest and most influential civilizations the world had ever seen. And despite being an individual of limitless power, who could do whatever he pleased with impunity, Emperor Aurelius ardently practiced and lived the Stoic philosophy. He wrote nightly in his journal about his struggles to live as a restrained, wise, and virtuous human being. He wrote them for himself entirely. Later his writings were uncovered, collected, and published under the title Meditations. The collection is now recognized as one of the most influential Stoic texts. His writings are a direct look at the thoughts of a practicing Stoic, and he stands as an incredible example of how Stoic strategies can help individuals deal with stressful situations. Lucius Annaeus Seneca was a statesman, a dramatist, and a writer, which gave him real charisma and a way with words. He had a particularly simple, entertaining, and memorable way of explaining Stoicism, which has placed his writings among the very best ways for beginners to engage with the philosophy. Also, Seneca's thoughts resonate with modern audiences due to his unusually practical considerations of topics like friendship, mortality, altruism, and the proper use of time. Stoic philosophy started with Zeno of Citium. Having shipwrecked near Athens, he turned his misfortune into an opportunity by taking advantage of all the philosophical resources available in the city. He sat in on lectures from the other schools of philosophy, like for example Cynicism and Epicureanism, and eventually started his own. He would teach his theory on the Stoa Poikile, a famously painted porch in Athens, and it's from this Greek word of porch, stoikos, that the term Stoicism came. Epictetus, a former slave, improved his station in life to become one of Stoicism's most analytical thinkers. Epictetus' handbook, the Enchiridion, is an especially practical look at how to implement the Stoic philosophy in one's life. He had a particular talent for explaining how Stoic strategies improve one's quality of life and made a compelling case for why one might want to make Stoicism their primary operating system. Many of his teachings have become recognizable without being known as his. For instance, one of his principles is at the basis of the serenity prayer. God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. The Stoic philosophy changed over time, shifting focus from logic and physics to more psychological concerns like tranquility and well-being. There are certain principles at the core of Stoic teachings. These are known as the 4 cardinal virtues. I will go deeper into these 4 cardinal virtues in another episode, but as an introduction, they are as follows. Wisdom, the knowledge of what is good and bad, the knowledge that produces happiness, the disposition by which we judge what is to be done and what is not to be done. Courage, the state of the soul which is unmoved by fear, self-restraint in the soul about what is fearful and terrible, boldness in obedience to wisdom. Justice, the unanimity of the soul with itself, and the good discipline of the parts of the soul with respect to each other. Temperance, moderation of the soul concerning the desires and pleasures that normally occur in it, harmony and good discipline in the soul in respect of normal pleasures and pains, normal personal independence. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction to Stoicism, a philosophy of life which can make your life more balanced, harmonious, and tranquil. To dive deeper into Stoicism, you can find many more episodes on my channel which will hopefully set you on your path to enjoy the wonders of Stoicism. Take care, and until we meet again.